Coach, after you think about some of the way you won those games in your first year at Iowa State, kind of grinded out, is it kind of wild to think of the evolution perhaps to eventually get to scoring 132 points in a game?
I think for us, we're just trying to figure out the best formula for our team and program to win on a given night. And I think, for us, I have a lot of pride and gratitude to the guys from that first season that we had, setting the tone for everything we've done in this program now in our fifth year. You look at each team and the strengths and what their abilities are to be successful, and we've been fortunate because of that group, because of that first team, how the pride in our program, the togetherness, the way our guys share the basketball and those things, we've continued to improve in those areas year after year. So again, we're not as much in this for how many points can we score or that sort of thing. We're competitive to try to win the next possession. And I think games like that are still, they're great for your guys' confidence. And to me, that's what we want to do is continue to build their confidence to, continue to do what we can to put ourselves in the best position to win.
What stands out about Purdue?
They're just a team that, guys that are experienced and pride in their program that have been there. When you look at Kaufman, Wren, and Lawyer, and Braden Smith, and so many others, but you look at those guys, they feel like, they've been there forever. People talk a lot about, has Taman been here forever? Those guys have won a lot of games there. They've got a lot of pride in the program there. And so they're a team that they've got tremendous physicality on the interior. They've got elite guard play. They've got arguably, the best or one of the best coaches in the country, and they've got a great home court. So they've got a lot going for them. It's going to be important for us to control the things that we can, to do the things that we incorporate every day as our daily habits, because we realize there's a lot of things about their team, their program, their players, their coaches that are really special.
What you got a health update at all?
Yeah, Taman was practiced today. We'll keep evaluating him as we go into the game, but that's a positive sign that he did practice. So we'll reevaluate him when we get over to the hotel this afternoon, evaluate him again in the morning, and we won't put him in position to do anything his body's not ready to do. And at the same time, if all signs point to him being ready to go, then we'll look for him to play. And Dom practiced today as well, and very similar in terms of his ability to return. Just don't want to put those guys in position to try to do things that could re-injure, re-aggravate. Want to make sure they're fully back. So we'll keep Vic. Does a great job. Our training staff, medical staff does a great job. We'll just keep evaluating as we go into the game. But I think positive sign on both fronts that they both were able to practice today.
You talked earlier about Mackey Arena. What's it mean to you to have this opportunity to go on the road and play the number one team in the country? Iowa State's never beaten the number one team in the country on the road before.
Yeah, no, we've had a couple opportunities since we've been here. Regardless of what teams are ranked, I've got tremendous respect for the Purdue program. Tremendous respect for Coach Painter. He's a mentor and friend, and someone I hold in a very high regard. It's a venue I've never been to. But it's an opportunity for us in our program to show the hard work, the discipline, the accountability, and the things that we take pride in every single day. So to do that on the biggest stage against the best team and coaches and all that it's a neat opportunity. But we've got to focus on the controllables, the things that we need to do well, and we're confident that when we do that, the games will go our way.
The non-league challenges, home and homes, went away for you guys for a while. Is this something you would like to see ongoing, or is that even an answerable question given how often things change?
Yeah, I think there's so many things that are fluid with scheduling, and I think you have to look at your team and try to determine best you can what's going to give you the best chance to enter postseason play and evaluate what that team can endure, because I think you're trying to blend how competitive can your schedule be, and then yet there's a necessary amount of winning that needs to happen. There's not a lot of times on Selection Sunday they talk about great losses, right? So I think you're trying to blend those two together at all times. I think people look at when you're doing these home games in many instances, and it's tough to go on the road and win. And so I think there's times that, you know, the neutral court alternatives that are being presented more and more to people are attractive because it's more of a 50-50 game. And for us, we'll continue to pursue all opportunities. I mean, we like to be able to bring a team next year like Purdue in for our fans. Our fans deserve that, and it's something we're going to keep working really hard to try to find those opportunities. But it's my responsibility overall to make sure that the schedule we play is best for that team on that given year. We put a lot of intent into it. Micah Byers on our staff is very diligent with the research and the work that he does, and we all work hand in hand to try to make that schedule the best that it can be for that team to perform well that season.
How difficult is it to defend a team like Purdue that has multiple guys who can hurt you from beyond the arc, but then also has, you know, Trickelson Ryder, I think, had more field goals, Oscar Clough on the interior, where they can hurt you both on the outside and on the interior from a high percentage perspective?
Yeah, there's a lot of difficult choices that go into defending a team like Purdue that's so, you know, balanced and well equipped to beat you from three, beat you at the rim. They do so many things well. I'd say, you know, more than anything, you have to determine, you know, for your team, what can you take away and what can you live with? If you were to not be successful, how would that look? And if you're at your best and you're taking things away, how does that look? So I think those are the choices we all make going into games. I don't think for us, for our program, we believe in the formula and the habits and the way we do things every single day. So as much as there's not a program out there, a coach out there I respect or holding a higher guard than Purdue, and at the same time, this is still for us largely about how we defend and the way we do things and our belief in the way we do things and how that night in and night out will work for us.
Are you excited to see how the freshmen will handle this hostile environment?
Yeah, I mean, those guys have done a great job with everything we've put in front of them. You know, I think you saw the first game, even, you know, you go to Creighton in the exhibition, you work through some things there. Then first, you know, game at the Pentagon, you're playing against a Power 5 opponent, you work through some things there. And then certainly the Las Vegas trip, those guys took some big steps forward in terms of growth. So I'm excited for them. They work extremely hard. They're great habits guys. It's as strong of a freshman class or better freshman class than what we've had in terms of top to bottom and how those guys are contributing right away. So we have belief in those guys, confidence in those guys, and again, regardless of environment, opponent, it's the same game that we play every single day, and those guys have done a good job playing it so far.
When you look at what Blake did out in Vegas, how much can that carry over into a game like this when Purdue has so much size?
Well, I think it says a lot about Blake that his best game, to me, you know, was overall start to finish was probably Mississippi State, the first time we went out and played a Power 5 opponent. And at the same time, the last 6 minutes of the St. John's game, he had the greatest impact on winning of anybody. I mean, he had 3 offensive rebounds, and he finishing plays, making foul shots, and doing it against the guy who's picked as a Big East Player of the Year. So Blake's proven a lot already in his short tenure as a Cyclone, and it's another opportunity for him to prove what we know he can do. I mean, he's a dynamic playmaker, he's an active defender, he's a finisher at the rim. He's just a really smart, intelligent, competitive basketball player.
Heisey maybe hasn't had the statistical impact on the box score, but what does it say about his ability to go out there and still play 36, 37 minutes every night, and do you feel like his moment is coming?
Well, I think for Nate, you know, he values winning, competing, being physical. You know, he doesn't deem his value as a basketball player in terms of scoring as much. And so I think at times he could think about himself a little bit more in that category, and yet, you know, he does so many winning things for us. He's such a competitor. He's a guy that wants the toughest matchup. He wants to rebound. He wants to make plays for his teammates. So, you know, as much as whatever a stat sheet says, I would say that Nate Heisey is a huge, huge part of winning for us, regardless of what a piece of paper is going to say. He does so many things.
Thank you.